What's up? This is Will. Um, I wanted to do a video um, that I mentioned I was gonna do, and I wanted to finally do it. About in our society, we really punish failure. Like we really ridicule people who fail, and we love winners, but we fucking ridicule failures. I was talking to a guy who was a little bit older. He was he was saying how, and he lived through when they started like the whole, like I guess self-esteem movement or whatever you want to call it, like in the I guess the 80s. I guess you know, and I was part of that. Like in like when I was growing up in the 90s. Like I remember getting trophies. Losing teams getting trophies like t-ball, and like when I get a little older, soccer, and then getting awards for being when I was in high school, like swimming, like JV, like not even varsity. I was just JV, getting some award for something. Um, Whether or not you win, it's just like that's not how. And this guy that I was talking to, he was saying how like he I'm paraphrasing. He said something about like somebody gives you a compliment, it dies at the end of the day. It dies when you go to sleep, or something like that. He said something to that effect, like real self esteem comes through accomplishments. Like when you actually do something and you're proud of it, and you show somebody and they like it and they're like, hey, this is cool, and you feel good. Because you did something and you build your self esteem. You don't just like get self esteem because people tell you you're cool, but you get it through like you know you keep working and doing things, and you have accomplishments in your life and you do things. And it's just there's such a like in this like uh, everyone's a winner type of culture. Like there's such a fear of failure that penetrates that whole movement, that whole ideology, because it's just like, oh, we don't want kids to think they're failures. It's like, well, okay, if you haven't done anything, you're not gonna like deep down. If you haven't accomplished anything, you're not really gonna have that strong a self-esteem in the long run. I mean, like you need to accomplish things, like and failure is a stepping stone to success, and that's not something that we talk about. We ridicule failure because everyone's a winner, but they're not. I mean, like like well, shit. I was gonna say not Leonardo DiCaprio, Leonardo da Vinci, but Leonardo DiCaprio too. He's had his share of failures, and I can't remember all of them, which is probably the point because his movies that flopped you don't remember. But I was gonna say Leonardo da Vinci, who's the quintessential Renaissance man in my opinion and most people's opinions, and most people's opinions or most people's opinion. Is it plural? I don't know. Anyway, um, but like I mean, he was a patron for the Medici's. It was a different ball game. Now he might be a Renaissance mogul, or I don't know what the fuck he would do now, but he'd be doing something cool. He'd be doing something interesting, I'm sure. But back then, the Medici family, they would pay him to make art and he would like design like a like different machines and things like that. But you look at his notebooks, like half of the things he did. I mean, half the things he came up with, he didn't do. I mean, like, what I mean? It's not just like, well, he came up with the helicopter, but he never invented one. It's like, well, I'm sure he tried, but he couldn't. And okay, that's fine, But other things too that he could have uh, gone along with, but he didn't. He just didn't. Um, so in some ways, he was a failure, but he did succeed an awful lot. He succeeded in so many things, and I mean, it's insane how much he did, how much he accomplished, and yeah, that's the whole thing. Is like accomplishment leads to self-esteem, not just like. I mean, I don't know why we look at failure as if it's such a bad thing. It's so essential. Um, I was gonna say, speaking of Leonardo DiCaprio, though, earlier, I was thinking of what's his, Spielberg. Um, Pretty good director, right? Like pretty famous guy. Like he uh, was rejected twice from the University of Southern California's film school. He was rejected twice, and he Steven Spielberg, and he was probably thinking like, "What the fuck? I'm Steven fucking Spielberg, and they, why can't I go to this?" Eventually, after he proved himself, he proved himself. He made a bunch of, you know, movies that E.T., the Indiana Jones series, and I think did he do Catch Me If You Can with Leonardo DiCaprio? Speaking of fucking another a third reference to Leonardo DiCaprio, I think he might have done that one. But I mean, no, he's done a ton of movies, you know, of great movies. He's done a ton of great movies, and I think they gave him like some kind of like alumni, like honorary degree bullshit thing or whatever later after he proven himself as being one of the great directors of, you know, of our time. But it's just like he failed, and how do you think he felt? He was probably just like, well, what the hell? Should I give up or should I just keep going? I mean, like, he probably had his doubts. I'm sure he had his doubts. We all fucking have our doubts, but sorry about that. I got an email and I'm just on my phone. I mean, I'm recording this on my phone. I should get a new camera, video camera. My old one doesn't connect to my computer. It's a long story. But anyway, as far as success goes, the worst thing you can do is not try. It's not failing. Failing is fine. Just get back on the horse. As long as you keep trying. Not trying is the real failure. So that's my advice. So thanks for watching.